Hello everybody, Lurgs here, welcome to my channel, and today it's what to do if your washing machine is not draining water. This video is for front loading washing machines only. So what should be happening is you put your laundry in, you do a wash, all your clothes come out nice and clean, and the washing machine does the normal drainage cycle and everything's hunky-dory. But if you've got a blockage, your water might not be draining properly. And if it hasn't been draining correctly, it will probably start to smell. Remove any wet clothes and be careful when you're opening the drum door, and just try and get as much water out of the drum as possible using a sponge. In this video we'll be checking the washing machine filter, then we'll be cleaning the filter, and then after that, if that hasn't fixed your problem, we'll be checking the drainage pipework. And there's generally two different types of drainage pipework, and I'll cover both of those in this video. The first thing you must do is switch off the washing machine at the mains and unplug it. Then you need to isolate the cold water mains. Your inlet hose for your washing machine should have a tap on it. If you can locate this, then just turn that 90 degrees and that just stops the water. If you can't find that, then you can turn it off at your main stopcock. It's a good idea to know where your main stopcock is anyway, in case you've got a plumbing emergency. If you still can't find that, then you need to go out into the street and isolate the water in your street. But don't do that if you live in a block of flats, obviously, because you'll be cutting everybody's water off. What we'll do now is check the washing machine filter. On most washing machines, the filter will be at the bottom right hand side, but it may be on the left hand side. I'll just show you a few different models here just to show you what they can look like. On most washing machines you will get a drainage hose, but on some you won't have a drainage hose. So make sure you've got a towel and a sponge ready, because there will be lots of water. On this particular model we've got a drainage hose, so just take a tray, unclip the drainage hose, and then clip the cover off, and it'll start draining water. Now if you had smell-o-vision you would go, whoa, because this water absolutely pen and inks. Oh, it stinks. So just keep doing that until all the water has drained out of that hose. Here's a slightly different version here. Same principle, just pull the hose out, then unclip the nozzle, let that water drain. This may take a while and it will smell. Once you've finished, pop the nozzle back in. Just be careful on this one when you're pushing it back in that it doesn't disappear into the washing machine, and then just clip it in. Right, once you've drained as much water as you can, it's time to remove the filter. And make sure you've got a towel on the floor, because there will be water and it will smell. So start undoing this anti-clockwise. If you've got debris in there, such as a metal hair clip, it may get stuck. So if it does get stuck and it feels like it's not going anywhere, then start tightening it back up again and then undoing it, and then hopefully the debris will work its way loose. Now don't undo the filter completely. Undo it slowly, let some water drain out. Then start emptying the tray. And you may have to do this 3 or 4 times. Again, this water may be a bit stinky. But as we've drained it with the drainage hose, there shouldn't be too much, but it may still take a while. So I did this 3 times. Now it's ready to be removed completely. As I mentioned earlier, if you've got some debris in here, it may be a bit tricky to undo, so you may just have to get a bit more forceful with it. If it does feel like it's really stuck, you could try a pair of pliers on here, but just be very careful, because obviously the filter is made of plastic. There we go. Now if that was blocked up, that would stop the water draining from the washing machine. This filter doesn't actually look too bad, but prime examples for blocking the impeller at the back are broken hair clips, coins which obviously fall out of people's pockets, hairbands, face masks and colour catchers. Before we check the impeller area, we're just going to clean the filter. So just take your partner's toothbrush or an old toothbrush.
Lurgs, have you been using my toothbrush for cleaning the washing machine again?
No, of course not, my darling. and just give this a nice clean in some hot soapy water. Now, this one actually isn't too bad, but you could find there's lots of long hair wrapped around this, lots of dirt and debris, lots of mould. So just give that a really good scrub. Make sure that's in tip-top condition. Before we put it back, we'll just check the impeller area here. Now that impeller at the back is what drains the water from the washing machine. Make sure there's nothing blocking that, and make sure that that spins freely. So I'm just cleaning this again with my partner's toothbrush with some hot soapy water, and that impeller is nice and free, there's nothing blocking that. Obviously things like hairbands can get wrapped around the impeller, or you may have a metal hair clip wrapped around it, and that will stop it rotating, and that will stop your washing machine draining properly. So just give that a really good check, make sure there's no debris right at the back. We're now ready to put the cleaned filter back in. Just line it up and then turn it clockwise to lock it in. Now this should go in very, very easily. It's just plastic threads. If it feels like it's not going in, then don't force it. Take it back out and just try and line it up again. This should just go in very, very easily, and it just gets nice and tight near the end and just locks into position. Then remember to put the cover flap on your washing machine. If you have managed to pull loads of debris out of the filter, then it's time to do a drum clean. So what you need to do is plug your washing machine back in, switch it on, turn the water back on. If you did it on the stopcock, then turn the stopcock all the way, but a top tip, once it's fully open, then turn it back slightly. That just stops it getting jammed in the future if you don't use it very often. Then take some washing machine cleaner. I've just got some Dr. Beckman's here. This goes straight inside the drum. And then you want to select the hottest wash that the washing machine will go on, with literally nothing in it at all apart from the Dr. Beckman's washing machine cleaner. So on this particular washing machine there's a drum clean option. If you haven't got one of those, then select 90 degrees centigrade wash on your washing machine. And that will just give your washing machine a really good clean, make it hygienically fresh and hopefully draining properly. If that didn't work, then it's time to check the drainage pipework. There's generally two types. There's a type where your washing machine drainage pipe goes in underneath the sink, and there's another type where it goes into some drainage pipework at the back of the washing machine, which will be up against a wall. If you've got that type, then you will need to remove your washing machine. Just be careful not to pull it out too far, because obviously you've got the mains cold water feed and the drainage hose. And then at the back of the washing machine, you'll have something like this. So this is your drainage hose out of the back of the washing machine, which goes into your drainage pipework. So gently pull that out. This one's covered in grime. Put that into a bucket. This is pretty stinky as well. Just give that a really good clean. Now check for any blockages in your drainage pipework. The easiest way to do that is take your mobile phone and just video it with the light on, and then check the footage. This one actually doesn't seem too bad. Looks like we've got lots of clear water at the bottom, no blockages, but this is a prime place for any sludge and gunk just to build up inside this U-bend. Now that U-bend is there to actually catch any grime and blockages, but also to stop any smells coming into your kitchen. Now hopefully these haven't been glued on, these threads, so just undo these and remove this pipework. Again, you'll need an old towel or a tray just to catch the water that's going to come out. So you're checking in here, making sure that you've got no blockages. This one actually doesn't look too bad. Looks like there's lots of clear water. But when you've removed that, that might be full of sludge and gunk and absolutely stinks. So don't pour that down your sink. If it is full of sludge, make sure you put that in your rubbish bin. This one's ready to go back on. And just tighten it up here. And then don't forget to put your drainage hose back in from the back of your washing machine. Otherwise, next time you use your washing machine, you can have a flooded floor. Now the other type, which is the most common type, is where your washing machine drainage hose goes underneath your sink. This was actually clipped on with a metal clip, which I've already removed. So you're just getting rid of any excess water out of here, making sure that's nice and clean. Then just put it back on with the metal clip. Again, you've got a U-bend here. Unscrew these two here and remove the U-bend, and then you're just checking for any sludge. Make sure that's nice and clear, give that a good clean, and then reinstall it. If you didn't run the steps earlier, then make sure you plug your washing machine back in and switch it on. Then remember to turn your cold water mains feed on. If you did that on your main stopcock, then open this up fully, but a top tip, when it's opened up fully, then turn it back about 45 to 90 degrees. That just stops it jamming if you don't use it very often. Then take some Dr. Beckman's cleaner, pour this straight into the drum, and we're going to be giving this a hygienically fresh wash. Now on this particular washing machine, we've got a drum clean option, which is the hottest option. If you haven't got one of those, just select the hottest wash that there is, 90 degrees centigrade, and just run a washing machine program without any laundry in it and just the Dr. Beckman's cleaner. That will give it a really good clean and make it hygienically fresh, and then hopefully your washing machine will be draining properly. If you can get outside and check your drainage, then have a look outside. And another top tip, after any wash, make sure you leave the dispenser drawer and the drum door slightly ajar, just to help with ventilation and stop any smells and mould forming. If your washing machine is still not draining, you may have to go outside and lift some manhole covers and check your actual drainage. If you can't do that, it's worth getting a drainage company in to check out your drainage. If that is all clear, it could be that you've actually got a faulty pump inside your washing machine, in which case I'm afraid it's time to call somebody out or get a new washing machine. And I tell you what, after all that hard work, I think it's definitely time for a lovely cup of tea. If you found that video useful, please subscribe by pressing this button down here so you don't miss more videos on how to save you time and money. There's also some other videos around the edges of the screen here. If any of those are useful to you, then you can select those now. Thank you for visiting my channel, everyone. I really appreciate it.